delicate balance of safety and security that and order, right? That when you lose that, and you see that across cities across America, unfortunately, you see that in cities across America, they sort of lost touch with that, right? You see the disorder happening and the disintegration happening very, very quickly. So to put it into numbers, we were incorporated in 1896. We started, the first year I have records, for whatever reason, I don't know why I don't have them before that, was in 1946. So for 50 years, they didn't actually record the homicide statistics. In 1946, the first year we had records. That year we had 32 homicides. Okay, 1980, I was 3 years old, we had 220. So from 32 the first year, 220. The lowest year we had in between was 24. The lowest year we've ever had on record in recorded history was 24. Last year, we had 27. Okay, this year, we have 10. Last year at the same time, I was just looking at this number, we had 17. So we're 41% below last year's almost record low. So when you go out there to the market and you sell to your clients, or prospective clients, you can tell them, look, number one, the lowest taxes ever in history, right? You don't have to pay state income taxes, as all of you know. Number two, the city's never been safer. You know, a lot of you have wealthy clients, some of you may not have wealthy clients or just renters or anything. I think anybody who is making a decision on where they want to live, safety is at or near the number one issue. Anytime we poll it, crime, taxes, they're always number one, number two. Sometimes they switch one way or the other, but like from a macro perspective, those are always the biggest issues. So I want you to know that right now, as it stands, if we were to end the year where we're at, we would have the lowest, we'd have the safest year in recorded history this year. So I'm knocking on wood because it's only May, right? So far it's good, the trend is very good, and we're gonna keep working hard. We have a phenomenal team to make it happen. But I do think the third pillar is instructive on the first two. And the third pillar is we've leaned into innovation. I'm the first mayor of Miami. I was actually born in Miami. And I think that's important because I got to experience Miami from a different vantage point. A lot of the people who led before me were born in Cuba, other parts of the United States, etc. And I grew up here. I went to school here, I went to college here, I went to law school not too far from here. And what I saw in my generation was a tremendous amount of intellectual flight capital. You know, the smartest kids in our community would go to Harvard and Yale and Stanford. They went to all the best schools, just like everybody else. It's like every community could produce kids that went to these incredible schools, but they never came back. Because if you were in biotech, you lived in Boston. And if you were in finance, you lived in New York. And if you were in politics, you lived in DC. And if you were in technology, you lived in Silicon Valley. So you couldn't come back. The jobs that you wanted, the careers that you wanted, if you wanted to change the world, you couldn't do that from here. This is a community where you would retire. This was a community, you know, had some core industries, but it wasn't re-attracting the best and the brightest of its own, by the way, of its own. And so we set off on a course, and this was not something I did on my own, but it certainly had some catalytic moments, like responding to that tweet famously with a "How can I help? What if we move Silicon Valley to Miami?" tweet. But we had people like Manny Medina, Melissa Medina, and others who understood that we were in an inflection point as a world. And the inflection point was the transition from a highly industrial economy to an increasingly digital economy. 4, 5, 6, 7 of you are right now pointing your phone at me and recording what I'm saying. It's a different world. You could keep recording, it's okay. I'm not gonna charge you for it. But it's a different world. It's a different world that we live in, right? And that world is enhanced by the digital tools that we have. And it's just transforming everything. Everything that we do is digitized. Right? And we can embrace that world, we can be afraid of that world, we can run from that world. I mean, we have a lot of options, right? But my view is, with an 11-year-old and a 7-year-old, and I realize that the world is not going to change. It's not, certainly I'm not the one that's going to change it in that sense, right? I'm not going to say, hey, everybody now, all of a sudden, you cannot use your devices. You guys are going to be like, you're nuts, right? Like, this is part of who we are. Like, this has almost become like a member of your family, right? Like, you lose this thing, all hell breaks loose, right? So, thank God that you have Find My Phone app, right? So, of course, this is the new world. And so we built our economy based on that concept. So we've attracted companies that manage $12 trillion in assets to our ecosystem. Okay, we've increased our venture capital pipeline, which is how you build and power small businesses, into scaled up businesses that change the world by 500%. We've grown by 500%. We were ranked, the last time I saw this, the #1 city in America for tech job growth as a percentage and tech job migration as a percentage. So meaning that we're attracting people to come back and work on technology-based jobs. And that's going to power the ecosystem of the future. And so it's no wonder that we have the lowest unemployment in America. We have the highest median wage growth in America. And we've taken $9 billion of income from New York City. And I think this is the icing on the cake. I think this is the icing on the cake, which is this. When you're selling real estate, right, whatever iteration it is, whether it's for commercial, residential, it doesn't really matter. You're selling the present and the future of the ecosystem that you're selling, right? And I think that there is no city in the world, I believe in the world, certainly not in America, that values your most precious asset more than we do, and that designs their city around that asset, which is your time. All of you here have something in common with Elon Musk. You all have something in common with Jeff Bezos, Tom Brady, Leo Messi. These are Miamians now, right? Maybe not Elon yet, but we'll get him. These people are investing their most precious asset, which is their time. Bezos is worth $200 billion. Do you think the extra billion, if he's worth $201 billion, is going to change his life? Of course not. It's a lot of money, but it's not going to change his life because he has 200 of those, right? So the most important decision he's making is how is he investing his most precious asset, his time. The asset that you cannot get more of, you can't create more of that, right? And so we built our entire